Word.
Get this started.
Sweet. Episode 477 of the show radio. Daniela, what is up with you?
This 4-day weekend of mine was way too short.
Okay, explain.
Way too short. I wasn't ready.
You aren't ready.
Wanted it to be longer.
Uh okay.
So wanted it to be longer.
Okay.
I just want like a staycation. That's what I want.
Good times though, right? Good times.
Yeah, I had a great Thanksgiving. How was yours?
Mine was great. I want to hear yours first. But before we do that, guys, listeners, thanks for checking us out. Head over to theshowradio.info/listen and subscribe. Use the hashtag TSRPod. Check in with us and let us know where you're listening from. That's always appreciated. This is episode 477. I'm your host Uriah, and I have
Danny, hi.
with me, and she's hanging out, and we're going to talk about Thanksgiving stuff, maybe Black Friday stuff. Get into that stuff. So tell me, set the scene. Talk about what happened with you with Thanksgiving, and then we'll go from there.
We probably have like the most chill way of approaching Thanksgiving because I was like watching almost all day everybody's like Twitter posts, Instagram posts, Discord, whatever it is, Facebook, of like everybody celebrating Thanksgiving and the madness going on in everybody's kitchen. And I think, well, my sister spent it with me. My boyfriend had to work. My son usually spends the beginning half of all holidays, the earlier half with his dad, and then he spends the second half with me.
So
So like I got to sleep in till like 9:30. Called my sister, and she can't really drive at night. She has like a hard time seeing at night. So I know that we was gonna be a late day, so I went to go pick her up, and like we spent the beginning part of our Thanksgiving. We watched The Spy Who Dumped Me and the first Maze Runner, and then I think it was
okay,
like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're like, I think maybe we should start cooking.
right.
She's like, if we want to have dinner at a decent time, we should probably stop being lazy and just cook. And I thought, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's just try something fun and let's just like throw a stream up. And I never really, other than like at E3, that one show that we did live on Twitch, I never really used my phone for streaming before, and
Yeah.
that was interesting.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was different. It was actually some good conversation going on, and people were popping in here and there as they could. You even showed up. I was like amazed. I'm like, what are you doing? Don't you have a
Why?
whole family gathering going on over there?
Why wouldn't I show up? Of
I
course I'm
don't
gonna show
know,
up.
but
I gotta say what's up.
it was great up until like it was almost like the perfect cooking scenario up until maybe the last 45 minutes, because that's when our main dishes went in to cook, and like I don't know what my sister was doing, but things were like smoking and burning. And this is the funny part. I actually removed the batteries out of our smoke alarms specifically because I like already felt like there's something that's gonna burn or smoke up, and I don't really want to hear the alarms going off, so I actually removed those out there. And
You
sure
put them
enough,
back in, right?
I put them back in. But sure
Okay,
enough,
sweet.
there we are, like fanning out the kitchen, opening the doors. Like this giant moth came flying in. Um, my microwave just like popped and something was like smoking. It broke. It was
Mm,
great. It was great. But
okay.
the food was good. The food was good. It was great. I ended up buying Beat Saber on PS for the PSVR the night before. So after dinner, we put up our Christmas tree. Then we played Beat Saber, and then next thing you know, it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Word.
But it was great. It was nice and
Nice.
relaxing.
That's dope. That's dope. Now it was good to see you guys like doing the food and drink. category on Twitch. That was neat. That was neat, and it was good to stop by. We had good times. We had good times here. We made most of the food at the house, and then I went to my in-laws, and we had the spread there. Everybody made a different dish this year. I usually make the bread pudding, so this year I did the candied yams setup, and I kind of looked at a recipe and I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. And then I was kind of like frustrated because I didn't want to do it. And I was like, why are we making like other dishes? Why don't we just make what we like are good at making? They're like, no, everyone should try something different. I'm like, whatever. So by the time I got to what was it, Thursday early afternoon, heading into mid afternoon, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna slay this. I'm just gonna knock this out. So I made the candied yams, found my own way of making it. It turned out amazing. Did vegan bread pudding for the first time. That came out awesome. And yeah, everyone made their dishes, and everything was great. All the food was good. The fellowship was good. My brother came in from Guam because he's out there serving, so he came through with his boys. So we had just a good old family time. So it was dope. They actually left today. It was sad to see them go, but it was good to see them, and we're already preparing for Christmas. Like it's right around the corner, really.
I know. I was so excited. Like my entire highlight for Thanksgiving was just putting up the Christmas tree. I know this is nothing to do with Thanksgiving, but I was just so excited. I'm like, yay!
No,
Finally, I
that's
can
that's
handle
dope.
that.
That's dope. Now the so Friday happened.
Did you deal with any of that?
Absolutely not. I didn't go anywhere.
I reluctantly did.
You went
I
somewhere.
I did because, well, here's the thing. My microwave broke. Okay? So we were like,
Right.
my son's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go make myself some leftovers." And then he realized I can't heat it up. Like,
Right.
"Oh, yeah. We should okay." Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go into the badness. Um Such a terrible idea, but I so needed it. I really so needed the microwave, and
So
we're so
did you
limited
get a lot of
here.
traffic and stuff, or how was it for you?
Oh, it was such a pain. It was such a pain. Okay, so it took us we did stop at three different stores. Just because I'm like I figured, well, if I'm going out, I might as well go look at some of the sales. And specifically, we were looking for that Nintendo Switch bundled with the Mario Kart 8. Um yeah, we weren't lucky on that one. We stopped at Walmart, GameStop, and Costco.
Okay.
I got my microwave, which they did have like a microwave there that was their Black Friday special, but I was like looking at the box. It was tiny. It was like 50 bucks. 50 bucks. I don't know the name of this brand, and all of the words on it, all of it was in Spanish.
Okay.
I was like, there's not even an English side to this, like
Right.
nothing. But I was like, yeah, we'll just get a normal one that's not on sale, that's big enough and the right size. Um, I went to GameStop. They That was just craziness. Like there were people just walking out left and right with Xboxes, but they didn't have the bundle. I didn't even buy. I bought something, but it was nothing that was on their deal list. I like bought some Christmas wrapping and a new Christmas ornament, and then Costco was insane. Like every lane, like checkout lane, every like there was at least one person that had a 70-inch TV.
Wow.
And like it's not like they were short on any of it. There were just so many of them. Like they it's like Costco knew that I don't even remember how much. I think it was like a 70-inch 4K TV for like I don't remember the brand. I think it was a
Right.
Vizia though. That was like $600 or something like that, which is kind of a really great price, but my god, there was just so many of them. And there was this like one lady, she had three different TVs. The 70-inch was the biggest one, and then she had like two 55-inch TVs. Like,
Hmm.
where are you putting that? And then the hilarious part is that you have this long line of trucks and cars and SUVs outside in the front of Costco trying to figure out, oh, how do I put this TV into my vehicle?
So they didn't
Like,
measure it beforehand?
no, it's like they just bought it and just thought, oh, I could fit this here. I'm like, this is ridiculous. It's
Ah.
crazy. So I didn't really make out with anything. I mean, I looked at some stuff online, but I didn't go for any of the, I guess, the hot ticket items. There's certain things, yes, I do want, but I didn't really accomplish any of my Christmas shopping. So I'm going to go and have that figured out first, which I did, and I got my son his Christmas presents. I got my goddaughters their presents. I'm like, okay, maybe I can look, but there's like really not much I'm interested in. Like I want to
Hmm.
replace my Amazon Fire TV because that one actually died. We had this power outage, and I think that actually sorted it out because it was just like a really unexpected. I'm glad that's the only thing that died. But I didn't know they had the Fire Cube, and it's like half off right now. That is so tempting at the moment. But
Hmm.
Ruru chat says, "Do you put up pine trees in Hawaii or pineapple Christmas trees? Pineapples don't grow in trees; they grow in the ground. Um, we do have pine trees. We actually have a Christmas tree farm on island, so you can actually do the traditional go look for a tree and chop it down if you really want to. And then there's this, I forget what the actual name of the tree is, but it is considered or nicknamed the Hawaiian Christmas tree.
Hmm.
It's not as full as typical Christmas trees. I gotta go figure out what it is, but there is one. And Cyber Monday microwaves are cheap. Well, I needed one locally, not shipped to me. And the only place that sells microwaves is either Costco or Walmart. That's kind of it. Oh,
Sweet. That's good stuff. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to go anywhere. My wife went out with her mom. They went shopping for different things. So I was like, I'm not going out there for anything. But an interesting conversation today. I was asked, what do I want for Christmas? Um, that kind of thing. Am I even thinking about it right now? I'm like, you know what? I need to evaluate what I have right now, donate everything I don't need, and then consider what I actually really need that would add value for production stuff, right? So I haven't really thought about that yet. I kind of have an idea. I know I need more USB ports. I need a USB, whatever you call those things, station, extra plugs, maybe 8 port or something like that. That would serve a great deal if I had that. But outside of that, Black Friday, no. Cyber Monday is tempting. I have a lot of things added to my lists on Amazon that I am considering, that would be good value for me, as far as something I actually need. But nah, I didn't go anywhere.
that's smart. That's super smart. Because just to go through those and to come home with a microwave and a new dish strainer, dish dryer thing, um,
Right.
that was like a 5 hour ordeal. I came home and I took like a 3 hour nap. I was that exhausted.
Yeah. It's a
It
long
was
it's a long day.
it was insane because I didn't want to really buy anything. Because like you said, like I want to put my money towards some stuff that is going to improve, what I have for streaming or what I have that will just improve my life, not just anything just to have because, oh, this is a really great deal. Like there's people buying 70-inch TVs just because
Right.
it's a good deal. Like my TV works just fine. Um, but there is something that I did notice, and I don't think I saw any deals for it because it's kind of one of those things out of sight, out of mind. If I don't need it, I'm not interested in it. I actually didn't realize how much of a price drop, just naturally over the course of time, that the HTC Vive and the Oculus Rift dropped down to. Like it is just a little bit more than half the price than it was when it originally released, which I think was $800 and $900. And I was
Word.
looking at the Oculus Rift. I'm like, wow, it's 350. I even bought my PSVR for $400. If like the Oculus Rift would have came out at that price point, or even the 400, I would have bought that. And
Right.
even the HTC Vive, I think I saw for $500. I was like, wow. And it got me really thinking.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think I might want to consider like having at least the Rift. 350 is a totally doable price.
Mm.
I think maybe like sometime down the line in the future, that will be something I would want to invest into. Just because I'm having so much fun with like, well, Beat Saber I absolutely love. But the only problem I have with it is that since it's on PSVR, it doesn't have that same community or mod to have custom fan base created beat maps that you can
Right.
download and get on PC. And I'm like, man, but I want that.
Mm. So what is the word on the that audio mixer thing that you saw at TwitchCon? Like, is that releasing first quarter of 2019, or what's the word on that?
December 17th.
Ah, okay.
So the first wave of people who pre-order, I think, comes out December 17th. If I remember him telling me correctly. Let's see. They sent their first shipment to Amazon for disbursement early mid November,
Okay.
and then I think the next wave after that is going to be somewhere in late January, early February. I know that on their Amazon site, they're not accepting any more pre-orders, so I don't know. I mean, I know they're gonna open that up again,
Okay.
but I don't know when that's gonna be, and I don't know if within those pre-orders, those are like being segmented by like waves of like, okay, if you these people who ordered before this date, they get in this first wave, or whatever it is. But I do have mine pre-ordered, and yeah, as far as I know, it's supposed to start shipping out December 17th, even though it doesn't say that on the site. I'm going off of what I was told at TwitchCon.
Okay. All right. So that's awesome news because that's really like right around the corner because the Game Awards is next week, uh Thursday the 6th, right?
Hmm.
So I'm sure we'll chat about that in an upcoming episode for sure. So you're running Windows 10, right?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, so I'm trying to understand when this process is going to end, where I just use the stuff, okay, and not have to upgrade or downgrade or do anything major as far as switch ups. So over the last couple of days, I went from Windows 7 to Windows 10, and now I'm trying to understand how that works, and how OBS works with that. And I had this bug code that I kept getting, like random blue screens of death that I couldn't really explain or um, troubleshoot. Even when I did troubleshoot it, it would give me the message, you do not have any corrupted files, everything is running fine. But if I used a particular USB at a particular point, I would get a blue screen of death and I'll have to reboot the system. So now I'm like, I'm trying to leave the system on as much as I can so I don't have to reboot it, and hopefully I don't have any challenges or any issues right now. So one thing I was trying to do is I was trying to plug in multiple devices to the Elgato unit, and I used a switcher for it. But for whatever reason now, I can't use the Elgato without the switcher. So if I take the switcher off, then I get a black screen for the Elgato. If I put the switcher back on, everything works fine. So I'm like, all right, you just want to work with the switcher, fine, just whatever. So now everything is working fine as we're recording this episode. OBS is working fine. Everything is working fine. You can hear me. I can see you. I can hear you. That's great. So I'm running Windows 10 right now. So Windows 10 is the I don't know, Danielle. I don't know.
Okay, I have to say, of all the migrations that I've had to do as far as Windows 7 to 10 was definitely the easiest. 10 does
Uh,
have its quirks, and these updates, especially this last October update, that one made me nervous the most, but it
yeah.
actually went really, really smoothly, actually. I was surprised. Now, your Elgato issue, man, I use Avermedia for everything. I've never had a problem with it. But Gutter uses the Elgato, I think it's the Pro. I think he's gone through all of them. I think he's had that same issue too because he actually had that HDMI switcher in there so he can switch in between the consoles without having to unplug and replug and all of that stuff.
Yep.
And it just turns into having to reset everything and stop using because he had that same issue. So I think that's more Elgato than Windows for anything. It's weird. I don't know what caused it, but it can be very super frustrating.
Yeah. So right now the switcher is on there. So I have the switcher, and then the lines going to the back of the Elgato, and one line's going to the PlayStation. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it like that. That's how you want to work. Fine. I'm gonna leave it like that. Um, and aside from that, everything is okay. So that's that issue. Okay, that semi resolved in that particular corner. The next thing that was going on is I was getting an echo when I was using the Astro mix amp with the headset when I was playing on the PlayStation through the party chat stuff. So I'm like, why am I getting an echo? And I'm like, I don't understand. Like everything, I fixed everything, right? So I started getting really frustrated about this whole stuff. I'm like, everything is working. Why am I getting an echo? Right? It's like, okay, checking the settings, get an echo. Okay, so finally I realized that after messing with all these volumes and these tabs in the Astro Game Center software, what I found was there's a tab that says the stream port tab. And once I muted the audio, the game audio on that tab, the issue went away, and it saved it. It pushed the settings to the mix amp. No more echo. Everything sounds great and amazing, and that's that issue. So I'm
I
getting there.
I gotta go and see about that. I don't remember the last time I even opened up the Astro Game Center.
Yep.
But I don't have that
So
issue though. So did it just suddenly start happening? That is
no, because as soon as I started using the A40s with the mix amp after the update, I would go in the party chat and I would be like, "Hey, what's up, everybody?" Be like, "Oh, you got an echo, man? Why do I have an echo?" So I had to leave and come back. Is that better? No. Is that better? No. So I'm like, all right. So the only thing I could change is mess around with the settings and the Game Center software. I'm like, there has to be a setting here that would eliminate the echo. There has to be, right? And that's where I was. So I'm like, okay, so it's not this mic thing, So I'm going through the settings, and so finally I got to the part with the stream port tab, and I'm like, okay, let's look at what's going on here. And I don't think I saw any video that actually said, hey, if you mute the game audio, you won't have an echo. I didn't see anything like that that would help me immediately. I saw the instructional video from Astro, which is fine. That's what they do, right? They got to give you that. And so I'm like, it was a process of elimination for me. So once I figured that out, I have not had any issues since because the settings are saved and synced. So I'm happy about that.
long as it works.
Yes. Yes, it definitely worked. So that's pretty much all I have for any other thing before we go to tech.
No, I'm ready.
Word. Okay, so a couple of things I did see for technology news. I saw a particular link that talks about how to make GIMP look and work like Photoshop. If that's your thing, definitely check that out. Also, I saw how to convert ESD files into ISOs. I've been really looking at Windows stuff a lot lately, so I've been all about either Windows 10 stuff or Windows 7 stuff or creating ISOs. So those links are going to come in handy for you as well as for me. Any comments on those two things?
No, no.
Nothing there. Amazon. I realized that I'm doing most of my shopping on Amazon now. So a lot of things that I check specifically are the reviews. Any reviews that range anywhere between 4 and up, maybe 3.7 ish up or whatever, if there is such a thing as it relates to Amazon. And as I'm reading the reviews, if they speak to me, then I'm like, you know what, maybe I would consider this particular product or whatever it is. But there is a particular website that you can find out if Amazon reviews are legit by taking the link of that particular product, putting it on this website, and you'll be able to see the meta for the reviews and how consistent they are with actual reviews and stuff like that. And then you could decide if you want to pursue your purchasing rights, if you will, and cop that item, whatever it is, on Amazon. Thoughts on that?
I'm very like I do shop a lot on Amazon. I do try to buy from smaller shops, not if not locally, at least online, like Etsy or something, or if somebody creates like handmade products. I do try that. Now, reviews. Reviews, if I go through the reviews and I start seeing like a lot of 5 stars and at the end there's a little asterisk, oh, this product was provided to me for my honest review, I never think it's an honest review because every single one of those, everybody has 5 star, 5 star, 5 star. I'm like, there's got to be somebody who got to have a problem with this somewhere. And
Mm,
none of them do. I just automatically do not even pay attention to the product anymore.
mm,
It's ridiculous. I can't really actually trust them. That's my way of finding out if reviews are legit.
word.
I always
You
go through all of them.
you
What's
might
up?
be better off with Windows 7 because you are on a 10-year-old i7 960. My old rig is i7 950. I don't think I'll ever upgrade to Windows 10 on that. Yeah, I usually only read 1 star reviews. 1 star reviews really help. This is all from Rue in the chat. But it's for the most part, when I shop on Amazon, I have a great experience. It was when I was trying to get the ignition coils for the Beamer, I was having some challenges. Outside of that, most of the things I've ever purchased on Amazon, I've had a pretty good experience. So, as
Yeah,
far as the
I've done the same.
upgrade, yeah, go ahead.
No, I've done the same. Like I don't think I really have a negative, and if not, they're really quick to fix it. I did have one questionable thing where somehow my account was compromised. Um and this was something new to me. So I didn't realize that somebody went and compromised my account and then they look through my order history, and sometimes I've gotten stuff and shipped to me, and I guess it's not updated on the website where it says waiting to be delivered, or it doesn't say that it was delivered, but it was, and I received it and I don't ever question it. So whoever did, like they went in and they asked for it to be reshipped to them. They reported it as not received, but it was, they gave a different address for it to be shipped to.
Wow.
So I was
Wow.
very like, I wasn't charged for it. But I was very, very quick to call them. It's like, hey, I did not put in a, to have this shipped to me. I did receive it. I don't know who this person is, but I don't want to be charged for it. And they're really
Absolutely.
quick to remedy it. I changed all my account settings and redid all of those things. But I've never had a bad experience with Amazon. And I do the same
Yeah.
thing that Rue does. I look at the ones that I look at all of the reviews. I particularly, if I'm
Yeah.
shopping on
Word.
eBay, eBay is the only place where I will always go to the negative reviews first.
Yeah. Amazon is really good. Amazon is really good for the most part. I hope they flag that shipping address as scammer. That'd be good. That'd be a good thing to do.
I
That'd
hope
be
so
good.
too. I actually looked at the address. It was actually being shipped to two different addresses, and I think one was in Vegas and one was in Texas. And I
Wow.
like Google searched the address that they provided to them, and it was just like this warehouse in the middle of nowhere.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
No thanks. Okay, so that's what's going on with that. So I did see that Logitech reportedly wants to buy Plantronics for over 2 billion. If that is true, Logitech is picking up a lot of companies as of late. They have their eye on a lot of things. So that'd be interesting to see what they do with that. Any thoughts on that?
They are. I mean, okay, so Logitech is partnered with Astros. They're also partnered with Blue Microphones. And
Yep.
now they want to go for Plantronics. It's like, are they trying to go for some monopoly thing here?
Yeah, buy the competition. Why not?
Eventually, isn't there? I'm very like, I guess ignorant of the thing, um, unknowing to these type of things. But isn't there something within those kind of big companies where there's a law where certain companies can't buy each other out like that to the point where it's just like one monopoly that's just one person that controls all?
Yeah, I know with the phone companies there was a lot of conversations or prevention measures that it looks like was taking place for certain companies not to buy other companies as it relates to that. I don't know if there's laws in place for that, but I'm not aware of if there is. If there is, that's cool. If there isn't, and companies can buy, I mean, IBM just did the Red Hat thing, right? Not too long ago, and but they've had a partnership, or I should say, a working relationship for many years, which I wasn't surprised that took place. So I'm sure there's some kind of agreement, or some stuff that's set in place with most of these things.
Oh, Logitech's gonna be there trying to compete. They're just trying to take over everything. Eventually, it's just all going to be Logitech. Although it's kind of nice that even with their partnerships, like Logitech's partnership with Astro's products is still Astro things. They're not using like the shell of an Astro thing with Logitech's internals, and vice versa. And I think the same goes for their mics as well.
Get big or get run over these days. Logitech wants to build a portfolio for Disney to buy them, put mouse ears on everything. That's funny. That's pretty funny. Yeah, so that's what's up with that. Useful Android apps for missing features. Okay, so I was looking at this right here. On this particular post, they have a couple of apps. One called Notif Log, another one called Unnotification Bouncer, and then Datally, which we talked about in the past, which is pretty good, as well as Notifix. I tried Notifix. It was okay. So it was like, okay, I have notifications coming in and I see how they look regularly. And then I have a new app that is attempting to manage my notifications a certain way. And I'm like, too much. So I uninstalled it like almost immediately. But if you're looking for anything, so this particular list, I would say Datally is a great app. I didn't try Bouncer or on notification or anything like that, but definitely check out that list. I would definitely pick Datally. Try Notifix. You may like it. I was like, too much for me. I had to get rid of it. So yeah, that's what's going on with that.
Nah, I'm good with whatever my phone's doing. Although I feel like an upgrade is necessary soon. Wiped my phone a couple times. It's just like every time I get a phone update, my phone bogs down just a little bit more.
You should see if there's Lineage OS for your phone. Lineage OS Samsung. I can't spell Sam. Sung. S7. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you should see if, and you are with what company?
Horizon.
Verizon. I don't know. Do they allow you to unlock your phone and do stuff?
I don't know.
Hmm,
Yeah.
maybes. Um, yeah. So Lineage is what I've used on the what's the name of this phone right now? The Echo Pro 3. I put Lineage on it. Works really well. No issues or anything like that. I want to put it on my phone right now, but since I'm still paying off my phone, I can't because they don't give you the option to unlock your phone until you pay it off, right? And the that's a little irritating for me because I want to stay with T-Mobile. I've been with them ever since they were OmniPoint, I think. Been a long time.
That is a long
Um,
time.
so I'm not leaving. So just give me the option of unlocking my phone. I'm not going anywhere. I've been with you all these years, right? But they don't. So my next phone, whatever that is I want it unlocked from the get-go. So I don't have this issue of not being able to do what I want to do with phone as soon as I want to do it. So yeah, so Lineage OS I believe is available for your phone. If you're able to unlock your phone, that's an option at at your own risk if you want to do that, because your phone should run really well on that because it's a very lightweight Android OS for the phones, and it's lovely. Thoughts? Hey,
Maybe I'll look into it.
word. That's what's up with that. Receiving calls and making calls with Amazon Echo. I know you're still debating the speaker, smart speaker stuff, right? Because you have not considered one yet, right? To my understanding,
No, I haven't.
right? Any recent thoughts on that?
No. No, but
Okay.
my son is trying to convince me for it because what is it? The Philip Hue light bulbs,
Yeah.
the smart light bulbs, they are, I think they are Echo friendly or Alexa compatible, and he really like he wants those that setup inside our apartment so badly
Right.
that he's trying to present his case as to why we need it still.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not
And
sold
you've
yet.
said what? You're not sold yet. Okay. All
I
right.
said
Fair
I
enough.
still have fingers to turn on my switch.
Fair enough. Fair enough. The only feature I really want to have in the smart speaker as of right now is the option to take off the ability to make calls. Like, give me the option to have it or not have it because I may not necessarily make calls on that unit. So, why don't I have the option to disable that? Right. Which I need to check again because they made some significant updates to the unit recently, whether that's Google or even, Amazon as we're talking about it right now. So I'm looking for the ability to remove the calling feature um, in the software, so I could just hit a little checkbox or whatever. And yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And when I spoke to them last time, they don't have that. They're like, yeah, we'll keep that in our development. We'll share that with the team. Yada yada. And then yeah, so I'm like, all right, cool. Share it with the team because that's what I want. I want the ability to not have to make calls. If I can disable that, that'd be great. And go from there. You added it later, so why don't you give me the option to check it or not check it? So whatever. So that's what's going on with that. But yeah, you should consider getting a smart speaker, man. Like, it's all good.
Maybe, maybe. I just don't see the purpose of it still for me. Like I don't think I would use it very much.
Okay, fair enough. That's what's up. So I saw something recent that I was surprised to see, especially from Adobe, right? So if you're listening right now, just just hear me out because I was kind of like blown away with this. I'm sure other companies have done this in the past, but I didn't expect Adobe to do this. I understand it was done in an error, and then while doing it in error, they allow an individual to have access to some of their products, right? So right now, if you go on Adobe's website, you can download Adobe Acrobat 7 and CS2 products for free with the product code next to that particular thing, right? And I tested it out, right? So actually I want to go to the website. I just want to read this thing off. Maybe this was something that's been there or whatever. But I just want to share with the individuals with our people so they have this information as well. So, according to this, it says read before you download a CS2 product. Adobe has disabled the activation server for CS2 products, including Acrobat 7, because of a technical issue. These products were released more than 7 years ago and do not run on many modern operating systems. Adobe no longer supports them, right? Adobe strongly advises against running unsupported and outdated software. Only customers who legitimately purchased CS2 or Acrobat 7 and need to maintain their current use of these products may use the serial numbers provided during the download. Then there's a little checkbox you accept, and you can download pretty much everything on this page. So when I click this box, I get different languages or whatever. So I go to English. So you can get the Creative Suite 2, 3D for Windows, Acrobat Standard, Acrobat Pro, After Effects, Audition 3, which I tried Audition 3 and it did install no problem with the serial code provided. Go Live CS2, Illustrator, InCopy, InDesign, Photoshop, Adobe Premiere Pro 2.0. Now, if you have any reason that you're planning to create a content for something and you're like, well, I don't have the proper software, only if I had this particular suite or whatever, which at some I have my reservations as it relates to that, or even counterpoints when people say, well, yeah, I don't have the right software. The software that I use is a basic software, and I'll run laps on people who are still trying to figure out what right software is for them. But this is a good deal, Daniela.
The
I want
right
to hear your thoughts
software
on
is the
that.
software that you can afford.
Okay.
No,
So
I don't know what the
right software as it relates to, let's build on that for a second, right? If someone is waiting to get Adobe um Audition CS6, I don't know if that's correct, if that's a thing, right? For them to be the best audio editor on the planet, but yet they haven't mastered the basics of audio editing, the software is going to help to some degree, but there's software out there that is really, really good that can help you understand the basics before you fully appreciate the CSs, right? 4, 5, 6, or whatever, 7, wherever they're at. So that's how I feel about it. Like, your thoughts on that?
that okay, I apply that to everything. Is that when people have that assumption that, oh, I have the best software, the best top of the line thing that's out there, that I must be great at it. It's going to be like everything that I possibly need. But the thing is, they don't know how to use it because they just didn't really build up a foundation about what's available and out there. Like earlier, one of the topics mentioned was using GIMP, which is a very free software photo editor. It's very in depth if you know what you're looking for because you spend your time working on it. It's free. It makes some really. I know a lot of great like artists on Twitch. You make really beautiful emotes and overlays, and they use GIMP. It's free. They build that foundation to understand the products that they're using, and they're slowly upgrading it. Other examples I can think of is people who want to step up their audio game, so they buy these like $300-400 Shure mics with XLR cables and the mixers and everything that you can possibly need to filter it out, but then they're just like overwhelmed with all this information. They don't know how to set it up. They don't know what they're looking at because they didn't bother to just start with something that's more affordable with them,
Right,
and work from there and to understand the little bits and pieces and build up. They just kind of
right,
just dive in because, hey, I spent $2,000. I must have the best setup and everything now. I'm going to
right.
be pro.
So this is a great deal. Like, if you didn't want to use the what do you call it? Audacity, right? If you didn't want to use Audacity, you're like, yeah, I love Adobe products, but I can't, afford them or whatever. This is a great deal, right? You're getting a great suite that is older, understand, right? But you're getting Adobe Audition for free, right? And you could just do whatever you want to do, right? You can learn how to use that software. Maybe you watch some YouTube videos, because I've had to watch YouTube videos to understand certain things for Audacity. And I think the show is edited pretty well with Audacity, right? if you didn't know it was all edited with Audacity until this particular episode, that's what we use. Like it's, I put some good work in there. It's just army. I go in there, right? I do my thing, right? But it's Audacity, and it can get really complex as you learn the software itself. And I think that, as you said, just because you have the greatest, microphone, that's not gonna that's doesn't mean you're gonna be the best podcaster or streamer on the planet. You still have to learn how to use the tools. But I didn't know this was a thing. Did you?
What? That
The
just
Adobe thing, the CS2 stuff.
um
Because you
they
have the you have
I
the
do have
creative
the
stuff already,
I have the
right?
Creative Cloud. I mean I know man. I think in the past they've let go of and had for free available their older units as it came across. And I know that there's other software companies that do similar practices where like, well, it's a great marketing tool because it attracts people to go and give their product out a try, even though it's a much older thing, to get familiarized with it in the hopes that maybe they will upgrade to either a full purchase or,
Right,
like me, they do the monthly subscription for the Creative Cloud.
right, which I'll never do.
I did. But I make
See,
sure
I
I
know.
make sure I make sure that I kind of get it. It's hard. You have to really really super justify $52 a month. But
Right.
I use it, so I make sure. But I know there's several people who or companies that do have that practice, and I think people should give it a try. Even though it is older, it still is a really good software package. I don't know about for Acrobat 7. I don't really deal anything with Acrobat at all.
Right.
But for the CS2 products, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of tools that Auphonic is really good for post production. I know they're doing a lot of updates with their software right now. I was listening to a pod that the guy who created Auphonic was talking about the recent stuff. So Auphonic is really good. Levelator is still a fan favorite if you've used software to level the entire WAV file before turning it into an MP3. Levelator is still good if you can find it. And if it's still available on the hosting site for that particular software. I think Orphonic gives you 2 hours free every month. So if you record a monthly show and it's under 2 hours, you have a dope software that can process your audio every month. Or if you do two shows a month, you could do an hour, and that's pretty dope. So, or buy the software, I think, which is like 60 to 80 bucks or whatever for the desktop version of Auphonic. So there's different tools. There's the Creative Cloud, as you mentioned, that you're part of for Adobe. There's this thing, which is pretty dope if you want to use Audition because you like Adobe stuff. That's great. And options are great.
And again, even if you don't want to use Adobe products, you don't want to use things that are older, there's so many good uh, editors out there. There's GIMP. I think there's or Sketch Pro, I think it's called. I don't know. I gotta go ask my son because my son actually downloads and uses a lot of those products that cost anywhere between $20 to like $40 one time purchase. And I love the stuff that my son creates. I gotta go ask streaming community, but there's so much. And there, like, the
There's a
thing
lot of good stuff.
is that a lot of them are starting to be kind of very similar to how Photoshop runs. They have a
Right.
lot of same similar options and capabilities. So you don't need to have Adobe. It might be the standard, but it's not the only one.
Right. Like even word processing stuff, right? LibreOffice I've used for a while. Google Docs, like I don't think I couldn't tell you the last time I used like a Microsoft Office product for
For personal use,
typing. Yeah, like I haven't.
yeah, if it
Everything
wasn't
is no, go ahead.
yeah, if it wasn't for Google Docs and Google's Office suite or whatever they call it there, I think before that I was just using Open Office.
Right.
when Office was like everything. I'm not gonna go and buy
Right.
it now because I think they have what the Office 365 now, which is isn't that like a monthly subscription or something?
Yeah, subscription model is a thing.
I don't know about that
Yeah.
one. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, so options, plenty of options with those things right now. I think that's all I have for tech news. Any thoughts? Anything
No,
you're
I'm
thinking about
good.
right now?
I'm good.
Everything good? Street, a couple things I did see for entertainment. Monster Hunter movie. That seems to be exciting. It's coming together, right? Thoughts?
I
Anything?
don't know how I feel about Mila Jovovich being in it.
Oh my gosh, Daniela.
Like, okay, so I really do love Mila Jovovich, right? I do. But I'm just not feeling it with her being casted in there.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
not I'm not sure. I think it's just having seen her, even though it has nothing to really do with it. It's just like seeing her in so many of the Resident Evil movies had I have such a strong distaste for the characters that she's being put in. So if she's
I
gonna
know.
be in something similar like that, I don't know if I can handle it. I love Ron Perlman, so I'm glad that he's being casted in there. And I just don't know about her. It just it's we I don't know.
Ruth says, I don't think she will be lead. She's kind of too old now.
I don't think age has to do anything with it for her. I looking at the pictures, yeah, she looks like a lead. Considering that she's the first one in in the casting that's mentioned as Artemis, she sounds like a lead.
Mm, yeah.
Never
I
know,
think it's cool.
but
I think it's cool. I'll check it out at home when it gets there.
100% I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, it's Wonder Hunter. Like seeing this in live action looks sounds really cool. I don't know how well it's gonna be executed, but it's just her being casted that bothers me in a bit.
Okay. What about Lion King? Or what's your take on that?
I'm excited.
Okay.
Like it looks so cool. I don't know.
Agreed. Agreed. I'm hyped. I'm hyped for it. I don't know if I'm gonna
100%.
pay to see it, but I'm hyped.
It looks good and it kind of sent chills, especially when they're doing the panning over the scene and they have all of the animals coming up. Like I dig that. I dig this live action so far and the CG looks really good.
Yeah, I dig it. It makes me want to watch what we have right now and just to prepare for the same thing. It's just gonna look different, but it's the same thing.
I'm okay with that though.
Yeah. Yeah, Lion King is the best. I don't think it ever gets old. Why do we keep watching this movie though?
It's touching because it's Disney.
Yeah, it's good.
And the fact that James Earl Jones will be there. Well, voice will be there. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. I'm really excited.
I
Uh
mean, like the way that they did the trailer, like that whole opening scene almost looks exactly spot on, and it just touches that childhood feels. But I feel like there's got to be some things that they changed, like a little bit. I don't know, maybe. I'm not prepared for the Mufasa scene in live action.
mm,
I already felt terrible for that in a cartoon version. Now to see it as a live action CG. Is it can you really consider it live action when it's all in CG?
it's CG. It is what it is. I'm excited to see some additional trailers. And then we'll be like, wow, it's amazing. Then I'm gonna wait till it gets home and I'll be like, okay, grab the popcorn, people. Let's go. So I'm hyped for it. I'm pretty hyped for it. I'd rather see a Monster Hunter Netflix animated series. Thoughts on that?
Oh
Because
yeah, that would be amazing. I think they'd do a great job if Netflix made an animated series for that. Especially if it could be just as like intense and gritty as Castlevania.
Yeah, you spoke like highly of that, like
It was
Castlevania.
it was good. It was really good. I loved it.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. I need to check something else out. I have a break now since I wrapped up a season that I was really excited about. So we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, so I'm really hyped for this Lion King stuff. I don't know. There's just some other movies that are coming out. I think Robin Hood released what earlier this week or something like that. People are talking about that. Fantastic Beast. What's going on with that? The Crimes of Grindelwald. Ward. Grindelwald.
You can start with yours first.
Uh, okay, so you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you something. Daredevil season 3, it's amazing. Okay, like everything about the season from start to finish is incredible. Kingpin and Matt Murdock and Special Agent Nadeem and Special Agent Point Dexter, which is well, I'll just no, never mind. I don't want to do any spoilers, but Karen, of course, the reporter, she's amazing, right? Foggy's great, the lawyer, the other lawyer is great. Everything. I don't want to spoil it, but everything about it is dope. Okay. So if you have not checked it out yet, or any Daredevil, you're doing yourself a disservice because the acting is superb. Um, it's just superb. I almost want to watch it again, which I rarely do, but I just to experience it again is just like, man, Kingpin is amazing.
I've only
Uh,
watched like season 1 of Daredevil.
yeah, I can't spoil it, but I'll say that Kingpin, his performance is incredible. That guy, I mean, he can get any role that's dark and gritty and self-reflecting and all that stuff. He's just an amazing actor. Uh, Vincent D'Onofrio. Um, yeah, so yeah, I had a great time wrapping that up, and I'm like, I need more. I need more. Vanessa also, and the season 3. I believe she was in season 2 as well. She's great also. Um, but yeah, it's yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. So how bummed would you be if they like suddenly just canceled Daredevil like they
They can't.
did?
They can't. I don't think they can cancel it the way they ended it. So the way they ended it gave you the closure, but hope for more, right? So if they canceled it at the end of season 3, it's like, okay, that would make sense because of what we saw at the end of the season, right? The last episode. Like, you can't leave me with that bit that I saw, right? It's just like it wouldn't make any sense. Like, but if they did, I don't know if I would be completely okay, but I would like be okay, you know what? At least I saw where they were going with it, but it's too good, man. Like, I would be surprised if they cancel it. It's that good, right? So you can't put in terms of hype level, uh immersion, character, like falling in love with the characters, that kind of a thing. Um Comparing Punisher to Daredevil to Iron Fist to Defenders to Jessica Jones to Luke Cage, Daredevil was in a league of its own completely. Okay. Punisher can get in there somewhere, maybe top 2, top 3 or whatever. Iron Fist and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage are probably going to be in the bottom half of that kind of I can't wait to watch this feel. Okay. But yeah, it's good.
So you're saying I should just jump on that sooner than later.
You got to. You should just stop recording right now and go watch.
Okay,
Like,
bye. Okay,
all right, see you
I'm
later.
kidding.
So this was episode 477, guys.
We
Like,
out.
we out. It's that good. Like, it's that good. Like, I didn't want to stop, but at the same time, I wanted to take my time with each episode to process what was going on, and even like, yo, I'm telling you, just go watch it. Somebody, please. If you're listening right now, just go watch Daredevil. You know, if you've never seen it before and you're like, it's my thing, you don't know what your thing is until you watch Daredevil. You don't know. Just go watch it.
Okay.
I'm done.
All right, so I kind of forgot that. Well, I didn't kind of forget. So Thanksgiving, one of the things that we also did while we ate dinner was, hi Aaron. We watched
What
the
up, Aaron?
first Fantastic Beasts, cause
Heard.
Gutter didn't watch it yet, so we watched that. Saturday we had a family day. Um, all of us and my sister, we went to go watch the Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, and I loved it. I was I went in with high expectations. I felt they were met, but I will not say that I'm a big Harry Potter fan, but I'm not the high Harry Potter fan. Like, yes, I do have it tattooed on my body, but I mean, I
Do you
can't sit
really?
here. Yeah, I do. I do. I have it on my
Oh,
leg. I do. Um, but I can't sit here and quote exactly, lines and passages and tell you exactly where it is in the book or anything like that. Um, but there is a lot of criticism that are coming through with the storytelling for this Fantastic Beasts series because there's going to be 3 more films that come out. So there's going to be 5 in this
this is
series.
not the first one, is
No,
it?
it's the second one.
Okay, so I
The
did see the
second.
first one. I didn't see this one. Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the second one. It takes place like 3 months. I believe it's 3 months after the first one ends. And people are just picking it apart. And yeah, I kind of started to do that in the film because like they have Jude Law playing Albus Dumbledore. And if you read the original Harry Potter series, you know that he's supposed to be around like 150 years old, I believe. Which this is taking place in the 1920s, late 1920s. And he looks like he's about 40. I don't know how old Jude Law is actually, but in this series he looks like he could be his like mid late 40s, maybe pushing it early 50s.
He's
But
45.
okay, so I would assume that Dumbledore is around that age range of where Jude Law is. If that was true and you're going through with the Harry Potter series, which Harry Potter was born in the 80s, the movies take place in the 90s, that's only a 70-year difference. It makes 110 years old or somewhere around there. It doesn't match up to how old he is in the books. I'm not going to go that deep into it, even though I was like thinking about that and I was like, okay, if I start dissecting and breaking this movie apart, it's going to take away from the fact that I am enjoying it. Yes, that is it's a little bit of a disappointment because if you watch the movies, you read the books and everything like that, J.K. Rowling was very, very particular about how everything wove together. And it just, like, the storyline, the characters just flowed well. Like, you never really had a second thought about is this factually true as far as the character. This one you can find yourself doing those things slowly but surely, but I'm like, I'm not going to. I really super enjoyed it. And I'm not going to be a fan that's just going to dissect every part of it.
Word. I like
Done.
the first one. I like the first one. I'll check this one out once we see it come to streaming and stuff like that. Um, no issues. Very, a lot of magic, right?
Yeah,
All
a
that good
lot of
stuff.
magic. A lot of
I
magic. It
dug
was a
it.
bit more. It is a good series, and I do love it. And he knows magic. He can be 160, and people are complaining about his looks. Yeah, it's those die-hard core fans that will pick these things apart. And there is one portion that is, I think I couldn't see past it. Like I can see past however old that Dumbledore is. I would like to know when Dumbledore goes from wearing these really nice, elaborate 3 to 5 piece suits to adorning like these fabulous bejeweled robes. But there is one character in there that kind of made a slight cameo. I don't know if I want to mention who it was. That I was questioning, like, well, that definitely does not make sense. So there's got to be some alternative explanation for it. That's I don't have any books to refer to. Fans can go and dissect it all they want, but I enjoyed it. I did as a fan. I loved it. My son, who is notorious, absolutely 100% notorious for falling asleep through any and every movie, actually stayed awake. He was interested and he enjoyed it. Um, and he doesn't like Harry Potter, really not so much. It bores him. Uh, then you have my boyfriend who uh, really doesn't know much about it. He doesn't have a hate or dislike for the Harry Potter world, but he enjoyed the movie. So I think that's a really nice, like, you have 3 different perspectives. You have people of varying degrees of likes and dislikes of J.K. Rowling's universe who enjoyed the movie. And I think that's what means the most to me is that I got to have a family day out. We enjoyed the movie, had a good time, and I'm excited for like the next 3 in the series, which I don't know when they come out. When your son finds a girlfriend that likes Harry Potter, he will like it too. We'll see. The girls that he likes, I don't even know if they read books. So
That's interesting.
we'll see. But yeah, it was fun. It's gonna be definitely something I'm gonna own on Blu-ray. I have to own it.
Very cool. Very cool. Word. Yeah, so Fantastic Beast, if that's your thing, definitely check that out. If it's not your thing, definitely give it a shot. I'm trying to change the genres that I'm watching these days. Um, I know I love crime drama, and I've been spending a good portion of some of my recent uh, viewing experiences and the comedy section, which I like. I need to do a little bit more diving into the documentary because I know there's a lot of good stuff there. So I'm looking forward to checking out some of those things and trying not to get too emotional because they're based on, you know, good research, right? Relatively speaking. So we'll go from there. That's all I have for this section. Anything else you want to add before we go?
Mm, going through, I think, man, I'm trying to think of different genres. I know that right now, me and my son are going through The Good Place, and
It's a good place.
yeah, someone what I think his name's Tony Danza and Kristen Bell, where they have
Tony
The Good Place.
Danza, who's the boss?
No, okay, no, not Tony Danza. What is his name that I'm trying to think of? I can't remember. Now I have to go and look. It's really bad. We just finished season 1 too. But yeah, it's about the afterlife. They don't call it
Okay.
Ted Danson. There you go. I was thinking of the
Ted
wrong T and
Danson.
D initials there.
Ted Danson. Okay.
Oh,
Got it.
terrible. Actors has been in my life my whole life. But yeah, it's like about the afterlife, the good place, heaven and hell. They don't call it heaven and hell, but it's good place, the bad place, the medium place. We just started season 2. I'm not gonna give away
Hmm.
too much of a spoiler of it, but it's really good. It's really funny. We're watching it on who I think you can watch it. Yeah, on Netflix right now.
Chasing Coral. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Very, very cool. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, so that's all I have in this particular section. Thanks for the recommendation. I appreciate that. A couple of things in gaming, really light because we're heading right into a lot of announcements. I'm sure we're going to hear for the Game Awards, right? Which is December 6th at 8:30, from what I recall seeing Eastern Standard Time, which I'm mentioning it now because I know we're going to talk about a great portion of that in an upcoming episode. Maybe the next one or the one following right after that. But light stuff here for gaming news. Definitely new sneakers from PlayStation and Paul George. New kicks. So there's that. Shenmue has declared its crowdfunding over and a 7.1 million total raised for that. Any comments on those two things?
Jeez, that's a lot of money. Uh,
Word.
that game, if that game doesn't meet expectations, which sadly there's going to be a lot of expectations and high ones behind it,
Right.
I don't even want to hear the outcry that comes out from the fans if it doesn't
Yeah.
just doesn't
I
meet their
don't think it's going to
standards.
be that big of a loss per se in terms of emotional investment. What I mean by that is we've had so many Yakuza games of filling in, right?
Hmm.
So if there wasn't anything at all, then it would be like, oh wow, what happened? Versus, we have Yakuza Kiwami, we have Yakuza 6 not too long ago, and we have these localization process taking place on some of these games that we never thought we'd be seeing coming to um, the West. And so whether they deliver or not, it's going to be like, wow, really? But we have some fill-ins. What do you think?
Yeah, I guess I could see that. I mean, it's been a long time coming, and that's probably possibly what is it? Isn't it still the fastest? Like, what's
Funded?
yeah.
I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised because as soon as they announced it, people were throwing money at it. When they announced it, what was that, E3? PlayStation E3? 2 years?
Was
Was it
that
2 years ago?
E3? That was 3 years
Yeah,
ago.
maybe 2, 3 years ago. Yeah, when they announced it and people started throwing money. Yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, I don't think it would be that much of a heartbreak because of fill-ins. I don't think it'd be that crazy. So, but we shall see. We shall definitely see deals. Didn't really take up on a lot of deals for Black Friday or even the this weekend at all. But if you're roaming around on the PlayStation Store, you will find a PlayStation Plus 1 year at $39.99 right now at this time of recording. This is Sunday, 11/25/2018. So when I checked it before we recorded, it's 39.99 right now. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I've actually bought two of them. I think Amazon actually limits purchases to two.
Mm,
I bought one. Let me
word.
check that real quick.
I
Okay,
need to
my
buy that.
sister's not in here. Yeah, I got a code for my sister for because
I
she
need
doesn't
I
want
need
to
to get
pay
it.
for PS Plus. I'm like, here's your Christmas present.
Word. I need that. So that's what's going on with that. A Super Mario 3 speedrun documentary. I think that was episode 20 of whatever series that they were working with in that particular thing. Definitely check that out if that's your thing. Comments on that?
Mm, not really my thing. I don't
Not
know.
really your thing.
Speedrunning, I don't really find too interesting sometimes. It's like, it's cool, you get through it so fast, but like, I'll sometimes turn in for games done quick. But for majority of games, like, it doesn't maintain my attention speedruns for any game.
Yeah, I need instant gratification and RPG elements. I need instant gratification and things to chase, right? Um, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So the Drake's Fortnite account, somebody hacked it. You heard about that?
Yeah, but I didn't really pay attention too much to it.
Okay, so according to this article on The Verge, someone apparently hacked Drake's Fortnite account and used racial slurs on a charity live stream. Like, you know what? I don't even know where I would go with. Are we ever gonna get past this? As long as there's humans, probably not, right?
Probably not.
Probably not. All right, Daniela, talk to me about. I'm just gonna leave that. Talk to me about music on Twitch, Daniela. I was reading that particular article, and I'm probably violating some some rights, which I don't think I am, based on how I've been using music on the stream. But talk to me about music on Twitch, Daniela.
So this has been something that's ongoing throughout the last year, which to me the wording was changed but not changed at the same time. So a lot of the people in the music community, whether they do games like Just Dance or Rock Band or they do covers, whatever it may be, there's always this really weird interpretation about what they mean and what they change and what they do. This latest change was to update for their new thing, which is Twitch Sings, which is their karaoke that they have going on.
Right.
But um it's basically, as far as our laws in the US, I believe the UK is actually trying to change this right now. So to save themselves, Twitch mutes your VODs. If an artist comes out, claims it as the music, whatever it is that's on your thing is yours, then it puts it onto Twitch's thing. We're like, okay, well, you have to issue a DMCA against them on our behalf because of this reason. Whereas I think in the UK, I forgot what the bill that they're trying to pass. I believe they're trying to make it so that is actually the website's responsibility. So the user won't necessarily be sued, as it will be the site that will be sued for using copyrighted music or content.
Okay.
The wording, even though it was like, oh, well, Twitch just changed everything, what they really did, and to me, the way that I'm taking it, the way that I'm reading it, is that Twitch did reword a lot of their stuff, but it was to make it clearer so people understood what the intent of it is and why it's happening.
Right.
Generally speaking, just don't play any music. That's it. You cannot actually play music on your thing. If you like, the safety net that Twitch does is muting your VODs for copyrighted music. It
Right.
does not prevent you from being sued or DMCA'd for any reasons, unless the product that is being played or streamed, such as Twitch streams or Twitch Sings, has a specific license with those companies, with the artists, with the label, then you have a problem on your hand. So it's almost
Right.
better just to be on the safe side and use either royalty-free music or don't have any music on your stream at all.
Right. So, do you play anything at all right now when you do certain streams, whether it's a makeup stream or
Sometimes I
things
do.
like that?
I do.
Okay. Is it
And
already a list that's live on a particular platform that you pull in to inject into your stuff?
sometimes it is. Sometimes I just kind of throw that whole thing out the window. Like for me personally, I don't mind my VODs being muted. And I feel like I'm at a point where I'm a small enough channel, whereas I don't feel like I have the highest probability of being sued or having any DMCA placed against me or anything like that. I mean, it can totally still happen, but I feel like, okay, I'm all right. If I was a bigger channel, yeah, I wouldn't. There are some cases where there is actually a service, which I don't remember the exact link, but Twitch does. If you do a Google search for Twitch music royalty free, they actually do have a full playlist of all of the music that you can play that's perfectly safe and fine to use, that you won't have your VODs muted. You won't have to worry about being sued or anything
How
like
is that
that.
set up? Is it in a playlist on a particular
Spotify.
channel, or is it? Oh, it's on Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify. Then they have their entire library that you can actually play from the Twitch site as well too. Monster Cat has its own Twitch channel that plays music like 24/7.
Right, which I love. Right.
So you have those. I mean, you can look up on Spotify Twitch library, and it has all the royalty free music there that you can play without having any issues.
Got it. Yeah, I love the Monster Cat stuff. I love DJ Cutman who actually supplies our intro and outro. Shout outs to him. So I love their stuff. Chilled Out Cow or Chilled Cow. I think that they're called. I like their stuff on YouTube. Yeah, so there's a few that I dig. There's some trance, tropical house stuff that I like on YouTube that I've played on my channel. That could be questionable. I think because of those tracks. I think there's also a website that's no copyright something on YouTube. I don't remember the exact name, but they have some cool tracks, but they don't have a live stream, which is sad. I would have liked that, but you're not concerned.
No, I don't do it too often, and yeah, I'm just not too concerned about it. I don't do it too often. I'm not big enough channel, and most of the time, my music is royalty free.
Okay. All right, so that's what's going on with music on Twitch. The next thing we have is Valve sunsetting Steam Link. That was a surprise to some, right?
What does that mean? Sunsetting.
That means they're not selling it anymore. It's not going to be a product that they're going to have once it's gone. It's gone.
No.
Why is you saying it like that?
I don't know. I feel like I have to go and buy a backup one. I like my Steam Link. I have it in my living room so we can play games out on the big TV if we're having like couch co-op moments. It's really good, and I think the Steam Autumn sale currently has that unit for $2.50.
What?
Yeah, Steam Autumn sale,
Are you kidding?
$2.50. I'm not kidding. I'm
Steam
not.
Autumn sale.
Yep.
Are you kidding? Hold on a second. I'm trying to figure out how do I get there? What? Hardware, Steam Link.
Yep, $2.50. Out of stock though.
Oh, dude. Oh man. So that's it, huh? I may not even see it again ever. This is the
If I
best
knew
price
that, I would
ever.
have bought an extra one. Would have bought
This is the
5
best
extra ones for
price.
that price.
Golly, that is like a steal. Amazon maybe? Amazon probably has like $110 or something like that. Let me check.
I think it's full price on Amazon.
Someone's refreshing their page right now. Give it to me.
Yeah, they have it for the regular price, $50, but you can't even get it through like a Amazon fulfillment.
Give it to me. Wow, that's crazy. All right, so that's what's going on there. Steam people. Any other thoughts on that?
Now I'm sad.
That's crazy. $2.50. Like, I'll check again tomorrow. Maybe
The one thing you buy.
the one thing I buy this holiday season. Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
see.
I got mine when it was like $5 a couple of years ago. Also during like Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I think
Hmm.
I love it. I do. Now I'm just
DBZ
sad.
fighter tournaments. Amazon just don't want to be sued. That's crazy. I okay, so let's talk a little Destiny, shall we?
Okay.
Just a little bit. Um, so season 4 is about to end on the 27th, which is 2 days out, based on the time that we're recording this. The one of the weapons that I really wanted was a pulse rifle called the Redrix Broadsword. I had to jump through hoops. I had to give DNA samples. I had to take X-rays. I had to do a whole bunch of things just to get to the part where I actually get this weapon. 5 valor resets, all that, right? So it actually happened yesterday. with some cool Guardian Super Crucible people. So that was exciting. Season 5 starts on the 27th, right? And there's some guns that we're going to be able to get for season 5, which I just want to talk about real quick. The first one is called the Loaded Question, which is a high impact fusion rifle. There's going to be a whole bunch of hooplas that you're going to have to jump to get that. The next thing is called Breakneck, which is a precision auto rifle kinetic, which is Gambit, which I'm interested in that. And then the last one is the grenade launcher, the Mountaintop, which I may be interested in that probably very close to the end of season 5 when time is running out. And I'm like, you know what? I should consider getting this thing. So the Mountaintop is a lightweight grenade launcher. And this post is going to be in the show notes. That's exciting. And I'm glad I got my Redrix. I think Redrix is good. It has a perk called Desperado, which allows you to shoot faster when you reload. An Outlaw is quick reload, right? And I like the gun, but I don't think its base stats without this Desperado perk is better than the Three Graves, which is another one of my favorite pulse rifles. Same type of frame, high impact frame. I think the Three Graves is one of the best kept secrets in Destiny 2, my personal opinion. Don't at me. That's it. That's it. That's all I have for Destiny 2. Any thoughts on that?
Nope.
Nothing there. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 was October 2018's best selling game in North America, beating out Rockstar Games' Red Dead Redemption 2 in this highly competitive month. Daniela, Red Dead, what's up?
I don't know if
Oh
I
my
like
gosh.
Red Dead or not still.
Oh
I don't
no.
I don't
What does
I
that
can't say I
mean?
can say I definitely like Red Dead way more than Fallout.
Okay.
But I'm not surprised, really. With the Call of Duty Black Ops 4, I think it is most definitely the best and smoothest launch that they had. Um, and I don't think I know anybody who has really been disappointed or upset by it. I mean, even the quality of life stuff that's been coming out has been great, well received, and people's been loving it. So really, honestly, I am not surprised that it outsold Red Dead Redemption 2.
Hmm.
I am surprised that if people are surprised by that. I don't know. Red Dead Redemption is kind of like boring in its own sense. It's like it feel
That's
like
what I'm hearing.
it
Yeah.
caters to a very specific genre of people who like the whole cowboys and exploration of things. Um it's not a bad game. It really isn't. It's just not fully for me. I am going to be playing it later. I want to get further into it. I'm not I'm not disappointed in it in the fact of the game itself. It's just for me, just me. Like I said numerous times, Cowboys just isn't my thing, and that's what I find boring about it. But it doesn't take away from the fact that the story there is pretty interesting. The quests and the bounties and everything, the exploration is it's pretty entertaining in a way. It's very fulfilling. It's just for the type of person, the type of gamer that's me. That's it. That's all.
Wow.
But it's a beautiful game though, and it's kind of funny at times too. So it's just
Hmm.
Fallout 76. Fallout 76. I'm so glad that I didn't pay for that game.
Hmm.
Because I think right now, like it's not the Fallout 76 isn't on our list of things, but since I'm bringing it up right now, but it was brought to my attention earlier this morning. I forgot it was actually linked to me. Was that 12 days after it released? I mean, during this Black Friday sale, I think there's some sales that the game is available to purchase for like 40% off. I think,
Hmm.
which is a huge slap in the face for people who pre-ordered or just bought it from day one for full price, and then just
Right.
to have less than 2 weeks later it's available for 40% off. Like,
It's crazy.
nobody does that. Nobody will have their newly launched game to have that big of a sale price drop so shortly after. Like, I think it's even an amazing thing if a triple A title game comes out to even have like a 10% off during the Black Friday Monday deals.
Mm.
40%? I I feel like if I paid for it, I deserve some type of refund for that 40% because this game, for lack of a kinder word, it's crap. That's how I'm feeling about it right now.
Are you
So
talking about Red
incredibly
Dead right
No,
now?
I'm talking about Fallout 76.
I
That's what I'm
hear
talking. Oh.
that's harsh though. Is it really that bad?
On
Okay.
console right now,
Okay.
on console it is, okay? It is so painful. So when I started playing it, it was okay. It's a little bit buggy, but it was okay. And even,
Oh,
the
they
random
told you
people,
that.
oh yeah, and I expected that, right? So I'm like, all right. And then the random people that I was coming across, they were super friendly. There's this high level guy. He's like, "Do you need help on any quests? Hey, I got this weapon. Would you like?" He was like super nice. You never come across really really nice randoms. But I'm like, all right, I can accept this in this game. I'm cool with it. I'm liking it. There was a 48 gig update 48 gig update that was supposed to address these buggy issues, these frame drops, these like crashes,
That's a whole
everything it
nother
is.
game.
And you know what? It is so much harder for me to play it now. Like I was trying to play it last night. It like my game crashed several times. Like certain things didn't even render. Like my character's body didn't even fully render. Like I just have a head and my two hands. The rest of the body doesn't even need to be there. It was stutter at times where like I'll be in action and it'll just freeze and then I'll keep going. But the thing is like everything that's supposed to be happening is still happening even when I'm frozen in those moments. So I'd be like stuck up against the wall and being mobbed and I can't get out. Like, even though I know that the opening is right behind me, I can't move because it's frozen there. I have to experience frame drops, like really painful frame drops. Like, you notice it that starts the game. And I was like, this is like, I don't even know what's happening right now.
Oh
Like,
man.
what is in this 48 gig? Like, no update should ever be 48 gigs.
That's another game.
Like, this was ridiculous. I'm just like hoping. I'm like, I'm so happy I didn't pay for this game. So
Uh,
happy.
that sounds horrible.
Pointed.
So I guess we'll add Fallout 76 in the mix of this episode for 77. Just make a note here so I don't forget. Okay. Are we okay there? Can we move?
Yes, we can move on.
We can move. Okay,
I
fair
said my
enough.
piece.
Awesome, awesome. Cyberpunk 2777. In a recent call between CD Projekt Red and investors, the studio says that it is striving towards making Cyberpunk 2077 as refined as Red Dead Redemption 2 at launch. Okay. And a quote says, without a doubt, quality is a paramount importance. CD Projekt CEO Adam, I don't want to butcher Adam K. We'll say Adam K because I don't want to butcher the person's name. Okay, we strive to publish games which are as refined as Red Dead Redemption 2 and recent Rockstar releases in general. The game is excellent. By the way, we are rooting for it. Rave reviews, excellent sales. What does that teach us? He continues. Well, it teaches us that we need to publish extraordinary games, and that's exactly what we are planning. Daniela.
I think every single game should have that mentality. Like,
Yes.
it's not about just trying to push out whatever game and then having a 48 gig patch hoping that it fixes it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, like that's the trend lately with a lot of games is that you'll buy the game, and then it's not finished. Like
Mm.
how many games now have like these huge day one patches, or they have to slowly release hot fixes or patches to fix this game that they didn't have enough time to do before launch day because there were other these deadlines. I am always for, as much as like I don't like hearing about a game being delayed, I'm always for them. If you need more time to polish your game, take that time, because then you come out, and I'm sorry I'm gonna have to bring this up again, but you'll have games like Fallout 76 where it's just
Jesus.
like people have these expectations, and now there's like I know I'm not the only person that's upset about it. There's numbers of people, like there's huge fan base and players that are disappointed that this is the experience that they're having on this game because it's not finished, it's not complete, it's so much issues. Now with a game like Cyberpunk 27, that is a huge universe that's going to be coming out to us. It's going to be bigger than Witcher 3. It's going to be so much open exploration that, with the hype and especially how many years that people have been waiting for this game, like for me for instance 6-7 years now,
Hmm.
um you're gonna have expectations that, like, okay, it took you almost a decade to come out with this game. It better be the best damn game that I can ever experience, that I do not want to play anything else. But it's when a player, like a purchase as a consumer, when you put the money into it, you want to get what you pay for.
Right.
Ultimately, that's what it is. You don't go to a donut shop, pay for a donut, and you only get half of it, and they're going to tell you, well, the other half is still baking. We'll get to you soon. No, you pay for a product, you expect a full, complete product.
Oh, donuts.
That's there it is. So I'm excited. I'm excited for it whenever it may come out. There's no release date set for it, and that's great. That is absolutely great that they're withholding having an official launch date, or even an estimated year. The fact that they don't even have that, I'm fine with it, because
Right.
they if you put a date and a deadline for yourself, that stress there, that's going to add up to it. Just like, okay, we have to make sure we're meeting this and this and this and this. You know what? Give me your release date when you feel like your game is at 95% completion.
Mm.
I'll be good. Dark Cloud
Very,
says, and if there's
very
a hair in
interesting.
my donut, I can ask for a refund or a new one or a new one with nothing wrong on it. Agreed. I don't even
We don't want hair in the donut, man.
no hair in the donuts. But yeah, you can always ask
Absolutely.
for a refund. If you're not happy with the product, you can ask for a refund. Fallout 76 right now will not offer refunds. I want a
Man,
refund. I didn't even pay for it. I want a refund on my time.
that's crazy. So yeah, so Cyberpunk 2077 looks exciting ever since they released that 49 plus minute demo commentary experience that was released finally after E3, many weeks and maybe months later, which everyone was trying to see during E3 2018, which was a situation of waiting in line, waking up early in the morning, and being told, you know what, it's not gonna
No.
happen. It's not gonna happen. But I'm glad they released the video finally, and we're able to watch that, which was really really dope. Last but not least, quick thoughts. What you're projecting, considering for the Game Awards 2018? Like any thoughts that you
I,
are
I
excited about
actually
potentials?
to go and see here. Is the voting still open? Because I didn't even get to go through that yet. But I hate to say it. I feel like everything's gonna be Fortnite based.
Mm,
Um, I think for a female content creator, I think Pokimane is going to win, and I think for the overall content creator of the year, I think it is. I think it's almost a no-brainer that Ninja's gonna win. I know I'm saying that with a face and this attitude, but it's like it's almost expected. Okay, it's well deserved because as far as Ninja's concerned, he did a whole lot this year. I think just starting in I think it was April, March or April. I
Hmm.
think he did the whole thing with Drake, and he just like from that one streaming session with Drake, he blew up exponentially, and his wife is a great manager and saw that opportunity and just made so many things happen. They both did for themselves. So he's a hard worker, and people may have a love hate for him, but you can't hate on a man's game, and he's been smart about it. I think that's like hard work like that deserves recognition in more ways than one. But that's how I feel like almost all of it's gonna be like I wouldn't even be surprised if Game of the Year went to Fortnite.
Right, right, right.
But
You still
that
play it,
doesn't
right?
matter.
I haven't really played it like.
I play it once a week if that. I haven't been playing it like regularly as much as I do. I've been trying to focus on other games that I have in my library and working on them.
Right.
So yeah, I play it just like about once a week.
Okay, cool. Yeah, voting is still up. It says vote now on the website, thegameawards.com. That's what's going on with that. I think that's all we have right now. If you have any questions for us guys in the chat, please let us know before we begin closing out. But that is what wraps episode 477. Dark Cloud says, I still feel the games and that show should only be the ones who came out same year, and that would exclude Fortnite, even its battle royale. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree with that. But somehow Fortnite's on there. Blows my
Word.
mind. Um
Yeah.
but I do of all the game awards that are out there, I do like the video game awards.
Yeah, but they do have a category for ongoing games. So there's a lot of games that we're going to see every year. We're probably going to see Battlefield this year, and then next year we're going to see Destiny, for sure, in terms of the changes that they made and updates and stuff like that. Blackout's probably going to be there, an ongoing game category. I wouldn't be surprised if it's there. Uh,
Oh, it is here.
yeah,
So let's see the game of the year award. So they have Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste. I don't even think I've ever heard of that game before. God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, and Red Dead Redemption 2.
word.
Best ongoing
Spider
game.
Man. Mm-hmm.
Best ongoing game. They have Destiny 2 Forsaken,
Mm-hmm.
Fortnite, No Man's Sky. I'm surprised that No Man's Sky is on there actually.
Yep.
Overwatch and Rainbow Six Siege.
Ooh, Rainbow Six Siege did a lot of good stuff. Also, wow, and Destiny's been doing their thing. So I would say between Rainbow and Destiny. What else they got?
Best game direction. So they have A Way Out, Detroit Become Human, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption. I feel like a lot of this is going to be repeat. Like a lot of these games are going to be in the same categories.
Detroit Become Human.
For that one,
I would say, yeah. Best
I'd be
game
stuck
direction.
between A Way Out and Detroit Become Human.
Right, right. Over 1,000 plus permutations and all that stuff for that game. So that's like crazy, right?
Then best narrative would be between Detroit Become Human, God of War, Life is Strange 2, Episode 1, Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption. So far, Spider-Man and Red
Uh,
Dead Redemption is in every single one of these
yeah, might be
categories.
Red Dead. Might be Red Dead on that one. Or
um,
Life is Strange, depending on how good that was.
I
Depending on how good
Reeve
that was.
says I talked about that in our last show. I hate that the same games are getting nominated for everything. It kind of looks like that. There's
Yeah,
gonna be a lot of repeats, but
not surprised.
I like how Dark Clouds comes out with Celeste. Even though I didn't know that Celeste is an indie game, it very much looks like it. So I think that's very cool that that is up there. I agree with that one. For
Yeah,
best art
the
direction.
ongoing category, best art direction. Give me 1 second as I just think about this real quick. The ongoing gaming category we're gonna see until they they stop doing those games. But go ahead, Daniela.
Okay, so for best art direction, we have Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, Octopath Traveler, Red Dead Redemption, and The Return of the Obra Dinn. I don't think I've heard of that game either.
Hmm.
By 3909 LLCs. That one's a little bit
Hmm.
hard.
God of War looks dope though.
That is kind of weird. I'm kind of like, I feel like, Octopath Traveler should win the best art direction, but I feel
Hmm.
like they possibly won't.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's all
Okay.
so many repeats. It's kind of frustrating because there's so many good games that came out in the year, but then aren't these nominated based off of gamers who put them up for nominations and then they choose the best from that?
I don't know because I've never really voted. Like that's the first time I actually went on a website earlier than the actual show taking place to see that there's actually like a vote now on it. So, but I'm excited for the ongoing gaming category because Blackout. I'm surprised. Did you mention Blackout in one of them at all?
No, no Call of Duty in any of
Crazy,
this.
crazy.
The
I'm
ongoing the
surprised.
ongoing games, I want to say it's going to be Destiny because I think they kind of deserve it. But I'm going to be so sour if they say Fortnite.
We'll have to see. We'll have
But
to
I
stay
feel like it's
tuned and
going to
see
be
that.
Fortnite. Best score and music:
Mm.
Celeste, God of War, Spider-Man, Nino Kuni 2, Octopath Traveler, and Red Dead Redemption 2.
Nino Cooney's up in there, huh? Okay.
Music in there too. I don't know the
Okay.
Celeste soundtrack. I find the soundtrack for Red Dead Redemption 2 actually a little bit boring for myself personally.
Yeah,
That one I don't know. This one I don't know who I would choose.
the God of War soundtrack is sick. Yeah, I think that's on Spotify too. I think they released it on Spotify if I remember correctly.
Probably. This
Um,
this entire category is presented by Spotify.
no, it's
It is. It is. Oh, here it is. This one's actually looks a little bit different. Best audio design: Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Forza Horizon 4, God of War, Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption. Okay, I thought it was gonna be different. The first two are different. Those
mm,
other three are like the same thing.
I hear great stuff about Forza.
I will let you know. My
Great.
son actually bought that for himself for Black Friday.
Yeah, I would love to get the takes, but I hear a lot of good stuff from the individuals who love Forza. So
But I would
that's
believe I
that's
would
good to
believe
hear.
that for best audio design, Forza.
Mm,
I would believe that one.
yeah, yeah, they do good stuff there. How many more you got?
Okay, so best performance for voice over acting, motion, and performance capture. Brian Descartes as Connor for Detroit Become Human. Christopher Judge as Kratos. Melissa Anth. Oh, I'm gonna butcher your name. I'm gonna call you Melissa as Cassandra.
Hey, Melissa.
As Cassandra in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Roger Clark as Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption, and Yuri Lowenthal as Peter Parker in Spider-Man.
Mm,
I'm gonna have to go with Detroit Become Human.
would you really?
Yeah.
I heard Peter Parker was pretty dope.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't play Spider-Man, so I don't know.
I didn't
The
I
other
didn't either.
I would have to go with the games that I did play and I did
I heard
experience, and I'd have to say
videos. I heard vids, and the vids were really convincing that Spider-Man was really swinging through the city, and the inflections of when he's swinging in the city versus when he's walking were two different inflections and feels as far as voice patterns are concerned. And I think that was a big thing that I heard the community was talking about as far as Spider-Man is concerned, that they made sure that they distinguished when he's swinging and the grunts that he does while he's swinging versus when he's just walking through the city. So I don't know. Could be Spider-Man.
okay, you say Spider-Man, I'm gonna say in Detroit Become Human. I think okay, so these these ones that come up is where I really super focus, and this is where I find games that I missed throughout the years. And I love these next two categories. Games for impact, for thought-provoking game with profound pro-social meaning or message. So these games I've not heard of. 1111 Memories Retold, Celeste, Florence, and then Life is Strange 2, Episode 1, and The Missing JJ McField in the Island of Memories. That game came out already? Oh my goodness,
What
where was I?
the heck is this Celeste, yo? Let me see. 10 out of 10 on Steam, released January 25th, 2018. Platforming video game by Canadian video game developer Matt Thorson and Noel Barry. This game is popping, man. People are really digging this joint. Anyway, I'm sorry, carry on.
I don't know because I didn't play any of these games, but
Right.
obviously when they're up there and people are recommending them, it makes you want to go check it. Like you just checked out Celeste. This is what I love about these categories that don't bring up those AAA titles because you obviously don't have Call of Duty in there, no Fortnite, no thing because obviously it's not going to be impactful games.
Yeah.
So the next one is best independent game. You have Celeste, Dead Cells,
Man.
Into the Breach, Return of the Obra Dinn, and The Messenger. Oh, 100%. For me, I would choose Dead Cells. I
Yeah, I heard good stuff about that cells. That was like a painful thing from what I've heard. Could be really difficult.
That'd be my vote. Best mobile game: Donut County, Florence, Fortnite, PUBG Mobile, and Reigns Game of Thrones.
Mm,
I would choose Donut County.
word. I'm excited.
Best.
I'm excited to see the show. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, you want to go through all these categories?
How many are there? No, no, no. Like I
We're
didn't know
like,
there was like
there's a lot of
so many.
categories. There's a lot.
Okay, give me one more and
One
we'll be good.
more. Okay, let's go scrolling down further to the bottom and we'll choose from down there. Actually, well, okay, I don't want to go that far down because I don't pay attention to esports things and the players there. What is this one? Best VR.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it's like rendering. I went too far
The
down.
render. The render.
Best
Special
VR
agent.
AR game.
Yeah, go ahead.
Astrobot Rescue Mission, Beat Saber, Firewall, Zero Hour, Moss, and Tetris Effect. Oh
Mm,
man,
Tetris. I hear good stuff about Tetris.
heard so much good stuff about Tetris, Moss, and I'm currently experiencing Beat Saber, and I love that game. Oh, I should go and play that after this.
Word.
That's actually a pretty good tie up, and I love that there's more games coming out and people are loving it. There's Moss is on my wish list to get and play. I love this little mouse. Oh, I just hope so much. I can't wait till I can actually afford to go and buy another VR headset like for PC.
Mega Man 11 is pretty.
Yeah, there's a lot of categories, and they do
The
go into
graphics.
like player of the year as far as esports, best esports game, and esports players, teams. They go all out.
It sounds like it's gonna be a great show.
Oh,
So I'm looking forward to checking that out. Yeah, I mean that's all I have. If you're listening to the show and you're watching this particular episode 477, if you have not watched Daredevil yet, you are doing yourself a disservice. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That thing is Daniela. Go in peace and
One
watch
Piece.
Daredevil. No, go ahead. That's all I have. If you guys have any questions, please let us know before I close out. I guess we'll hang for about 2 minutes.
Yeah, we can hang if you guys have any
If we could do
questions.
some rounds, some lightning round questions for us as we begin to wrap up. Everything that we had to cover, we've covered, and I don't like to stay after just for fluff things because I believe once we're over, we're over. So I'm done. Daniela, anything, any final thoughts before we close out? Before questions and stuff?
No, it's just that we're coming into Christmas territory. That's so fun. Question: should the Game Awards undergo any significant changes?
You want to go first?
You can go first. I gotta think about
Okay,
this one.
I think that based on the experiences that I've seen with the Game Awards, certain personalities should be prepped and tested before they actually perform either a presentation or anything at all, right? I think over the years we saw some crazy moments with the Game Awards to the place that we're at now, where we had the No Way Out guy. Was that the No Way Out guy last year?
Yes. Yes, it
And I think
was.
that we have to, there's just certain things that shouldn't be um, allowed or tolerated, as we're beginning to get a great show that we can say that we're proud of in the game industry or a community at large. I'll say that. So I like what I'm seeing so far. I think last year was a great improvement. I think that things that keep our attention is something that we're always going to look for in these game awards, as we've seen with some award shows. And I think that we don't give the team that is behind Jeff Keighley the due that they deserve to put on the show that we're seeing right now, even though certain aspects of it we may think is kind of trash to some degree. But I think what we have right now, based on 2017, they've come a long way. So presentation, what's tolerated, what's allowed, um, timing. Everybody needs a timer. I think the timing thing works, right? If you have 59 seconds to do this, if it's a big award, esports player of this or big streamer of that, I think you probably get a minute or two depending on those things. And I think if those constraints, if you want to call them that, are there, if those limitations are there to keep the show fluid and the experience great for us as the viewers of that particular show, and not necessarily those sitting in the seats, I think that would be great. So significant, not crazy, but enough for us to make it a tighter show and not let loose cannons go, like we saw some of the things last year. I'll say that.
Well, that's funny because that was like my favorite part. Yes, yes, they should screen them a bit better for sure. But I also kind of like that rawness to it. I like that it wasn't super rehearsed. He should have been screened at least. Like, what are you going to say? Where are you going with this? But at the same time, he kind of got it. Like everybody remembered that game. They might not remember his name, but they remember like, oh, the guy who worked on The Way Out and didn't like the Oscars. But if it should be restructured or any significant changes, it is kind of getting to be a little bit like super Hollywood in a way. I kind of liked it back when it was kind of revamped originally. I think that was 2014 because I think Spike stopped doing it in 2013. I think that was their last show. Um, and then the Game Awards came out. I kind of liked this fresh thing. It was like a little more about the developers and the people that are behind the game rather than who has the most money to fund this thing. They're going to be showcased, whoever it may be, even though it may not be of any interest.
Right.
I want them to have. I guess like well, if the voting and the nominations are based off of like the community putting in what games that they like. I just wish there was so much more variety to it cuz we were just going through these, a lot of the bigger categories had the same, like at least 3 of the games are the same ones in previous categories. It's not very fair cuz I feel that there are indie games that can match AAA titles, and I believe last year's Game Awards showed that with Hellblade.
Right.
So Or is that this year? I don't even remember. All my years are starting to mix in. But Hellblade is definitely a competitor for AAA titles, and they're out there, and it deserves that recognition. I just want them to be able to focus on that as well too. I like that there is a category for, you know, up and coming developers coming out of colleges, and they're putting together their games, and they're getting, you know, that spotlight to be like, hey, and check out what we're doing. We're not a studio, I'm just a student that's coming out.
Yeah. Hellblade was 2017.
I was trying to say something. Okay, good, good. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about that.
Yeah.
I don't want it to just focus on those AAA titles. Like I feel like there should be some other layer in their judging or their game nominations where they should open it up to more. I
Yeah.
I don't know
There
how they
was
would do
one
that.
there was one YouTuber, if I remember correctly, that was trying to read prompts and it was just like so not working out. I'm like, how did you even get that? Like, nobody said how to read the prompts or what you're going to read. Not
Yeah.
even that. I remember that. I don't know if that was 2017 or 20 or the year before that or whatever. I was like, how did you not? Nobody said, hey, this is what you're gonna need to read. Try to and I think that after a while, like even with us, and I was thinking also diverse um, presenters. I don't know how diverse they were last year, but there's a lot of talent, um, multicolored talent in the community. I need to see more of that reflected on some of these shows that we're watching, that we're supporting, or whatever. So there's that. So you're reading a prompt. We have all this stuff that we're reading. We're reading show notes, right? We're trying to make sure everything is right. We're reading quotes and stuff like that. And after a while, the individuals who are doing these shows, these podcasts, whether it's 10 episodes, 100 episodes, 300 episodes, after a while, we have kind of mastered how to read stuff on the fly, especially with chat and notes and quotes. And so why are we seeing the same individuals presenting,
Hmm.
and there's not a variety or diversity in that? That doesn't make any sense to me. So I'd like to see that. So significant changes in that would be great, to see other individuals of different backgrounds and um, color present at these shows. So there's that too. Danielle, any thoughts on that?
You have to reach out to them. They're not going to find you. See, that's the thing. If they want you, they will come out and reach out to you. They really
Yeah.
will. It's
Yeah.
really it really isn't about you reaching out to them. If they want you, they will get you.
It's not hard to find us. I don't think we're that hard to find.
And that's really for anybody, and sadly sometimes it also has to do with like who you know.
True.
But I'm trying to think if it falls into the timeline of the Game Awards or the Video Game Awards. Um which was kind of like the whole revamp of it. But I love the layout. I think it's actually on Spike. Never mind. I think it was the Video Game Awards. So the year that No Man's Sky was announced, that layout that they had, it was so much more one-on-one. It was about sitting out on a couch. I believe that's what they were doing. You're sitting out on a couch and they were talking about No Man's Sky coming out. This guy is super excited about it. I loved that type of layout of getting to know the developer and the programmer behind the game and have them just openly talk about their game without it looking or seeming like there's a huge pressure of just this marketing scheme behind it.
Right. Hmm. Um, is it hard to find you if they don't know? What I'm
Just
finding, what I'm finding, okay, if they don't know you exist, what I'm finding is that there's more individuals that know we exist than we actually know, because we can account for the anonymity and clicks that take place with the downloads because there's no names attached to those, and a lot of those, a small percentage of those are companies and PR companies that end up hitting us up after for different opportunities and stuff like that. So that's on a that's on a different scale, but the point of that whole discourse, if you will, is that people know we exist, right? It's just like we're not dealing with you know, first couple of episodes. We're dealing with hundreds of episodes at this point. So when we see individuals getting opportunities, a good portion of those opportunities come because they're being reached out to by companies or agencies to offer opportunities for those things. So it's not hard, and they do know that these personalities or content creators or voiceover enthusiasts exist in this space. That makes sense, Daniela? I
Yeah, it
think
makes
I'm going
sense.
off on a rant a little bit. Um,
No, it makes sense. I mean,
yeah.
if they want you, they'll find you, even if they don't know. Like my experience, like when G4 TV was available and they wanted somebody to cover one of the conventions here, I literally had no presence. I was just like a fan, and they remembered, like, hey, I know you like this. I know you're out in Hawaii. You want to do this event for us. We'll send you all your information. And I literally just didn't do anything else. I don't even think I streamed online at that time. And they hunted me down. And you know what? That's the one thing. I don't know how they got my number still.
People are
but,
watching
but
and
yeah, my
listening.
number. And sure enough, and here you go. Here's your contract. Here's this. Here's all the equipment that you need. Here's your badge. Here's that. Go and make that happen.
Yeah. It's a very interesting world. Like we're speaking to individuals that we hope that they're listening to our content, and then to find out, yeah, I listened to the whole, and that thing that you said about this piece and that piece, I'm like, that's scary, right? And even like the interviews, the 6 minute, 7 minute interviews here and there, that you hear on the feed, we'll post that, and we're like, yeah, that's cool. It was great getting that. Let's see if we can get something else. And then we hear the feedback from the company, like, yeah, we shared it with our team, and the whole team was excited to hear. Yeah, they don't know we exist, and they do know that we exist. It's a weird thing, it's
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, it's encouraging. But you never know who's listening. I was always told by a wise man that you never know who's listening, you never know who's watching. So just do the right thing all the time so you don't have to apologize later. I'm like, all right,
Yep.
I can do that. And that's been consistent with my at this point with our 400 plus episodes. And I'm sure you get different reports. I get more reports now of like, hey, you know what? You guys have great chemistry. Oh, word. So I'm getting a lot of those. I never would believe into the content. And I think that goes, and I'm saying, and I'm going back on this particular thing because this is something that every podcaster goes through. So let's open it up a little bit. Every podcaster wants to know that people are listening to their stuff. And once they find out that somebody's listening, they would hope that they will get somebody to acknowledge, verbally, that that's happening, or through an email, or you're probably not going to get that because most podcasters are not going to get the message, hey, the long drawn out email of how much they appreciate this particular content creator. You're probably not going to get that, but we know that they're listening because that's happening, right? And I think that we get the joy from that. But every podcaster wants those opportunities to come to them based on your particular comment. We believe that they don't think we exist until they reach out, and they have, and that's the thing. So if you're just starting out, with your 3 episode here, 7 episode there, 21 episodes here. You just have to keep going. I think the challenge for individuals now is they want the instant gratification of, hey, I'm here, I recorded a couple of things, I want that notice ability right away. It doesn't happen. So you have to have your long game plan, right, set out for individuals to actually begin to see, hey, this person's really serious. Oh, you've been doing it that long, and people appreciate the fact that you have a backlog of streams or episodes or whatever the case might be. So it's the long game that we've been playing, which is why it seems like a lot of companies, and I have to be careful when I'm speaking because I'm PRing myself as well as, we are PR ourselves when we say certain things. A lot of companies are allowing us to be a part of their marketing campaign for certain products that they have coming out. And we're honored by that, right? Because that doesn't have to be the case. So somebody's noticing. And that's what every content creator wants. And eventually, once they continue the process of publishing their content, they'll get that.
That was a deep conversation. For
Was
one
it really
question.
though? Was it really?
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done though.
If you guys don't have any other questions, we are, except for Fallout 76. Yeah, except for Fallout 76. God. I'm waiting for that next update that hopefully puts back whatever they tried to fix that wasn't good. But if you guys have no more questions, thanks for tuning into our podcast and missed our live show. You can join our Discord where you can leave questions and be a part of our community. You can head over to Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast app and subscribe, rate, and review our show. For our show notes, visit theshowradio.info. And thanks for tuning in, and see you on the next one. Bye, guys.